A very good afternoon once again. Thank you so much for keeping it with us. We come in after the break with a brief discussion about something pertinent, as we always do it. This afternoon we're going to look at how COVID-19 has aggravated violation of reproductive health rights and promotion or an escalation of gender-based violence among our communities, and what can be done to solve that. My guest is Mr. Zulu Richard. He's a team leader of Outbox, and they have come up with a campaign that he's going to tell us about called The Stage, which targets to dealing with issues affecting our society in the line that I talked about. Sir, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Michael, for having me.
You're most welcome. Now, when we talk of gender-based violence, the escalation of reproductive health rights violation, just throw some lights on that so that somebody watching us can understand, so that we move together.
Yeah. So
how has COVID-19 impacted on the escalation of the other two?
So as you saw during the lockdown, and this usually is continuing now, for our young people, largely the youth, there have been issues around domestic violence in their homes, where people cannot spend time together in their homes, access to health information, but also issues to do with reproductive health commodities were challenged, given that all the focus was put on COVID-19, which is true, but the attention to other sides, yes, it took all our attention, and we forgot all other aspects that are affecting our young people. So as a result of that, many of them also dropped out of employment or could not earn. And then you start seeing a complex amalgamation of issues leading up to gender-based violence or other aspects of their lives. So it's such complex issues that, you know, we really want to see how do we come together to actually address such complex issues, right? Okay. If you look at a young person, our work was really around your young person, you're affected by gender-based violence, how can you address this in your community? You come up with an idea and we help you, right? But it's beyond that, right? This young person has to earn, this young person has to have a good mental health well-being, and other issues that can enable him have a full life. So for us, this is what we seek to achieve, in that how do we come together and, you know, beyond their population rights, kind of have a young person have a good state of being.
Okay. Here you come up with something. Tell us about Outbox in the first place.
Outbox is an innovation and entrepreneurship support organization. If you're starting out in business, you really struggle with a lot of things around capital, around infrastructure and things like that. And at Outbox, our job is to bring all those things together so that you can quickly build up your business. Okay. And so we are one of the partners that work around issues to do with sexual reproductive health.
You look at business. Yes. This is reproductive health and gender-based violence. How do the two get to connect?
Exactly. The whole issue here is Outbox is built up to listen, to look at the voice of the young person and say, you're a young person, you have issues in your community, and, you know, we operate against the assumption that you're in the best place to recommend solutions for young people, by young people. Okay. And so how do we work with you and empower you to build what we call social businesses around those issues? And so that's how sexual reproductive health comes in. And this approach can apply to many other verticals with regards to solving social issues through social businesses.
Okay. So The Stage is the kind of innovation you came up with to see how all this can be solved. How is it going to work? How does one access the services, and what does it entail?
Yeah. So The Stage is a convening of actors. The Stage is apolitical. The Stage seeks to have no brands, no logos, and we work under the assumption that, imagine if we all came together to use our collective abilities. You're a young person, you're facing a challenge in your community, you want to do something about it. What's that one area you could go to that provides you with access to information on how you can build up your idea, that provides you with access to mentors who can provide you with expertise in terms of how you can run your business, where you can seek out role models that have done things similar to you by the showcasing that we do, right? That is the stage. It's a platform, it's a convening of actors, and not only for young people, it's a convening of actors for very many, even intergenerational.
Okay.
You're a policy maker, you want to listen to the youth. How do we give you a platform for you to do that, right?
Have people benefited already in services, from services of the stage?
So young people have already benefited from the work that is done by the different partners that we work with on the stage. For instance, there are those that are building social businesses. For instance, in the north we have a team that's building small baby kits to keep babies warm in refugee settings where they would have otherwise died from pneumonia, right? We have volunteers in the different communities through our partner Reach a Hand that are really trying to distribute sexual and reproductive health information in terms of helping the youth really have issues, discuss these issues, first of all with their local leaders around how they've been affected, but also how do we get those issues and actually address them. Okay. So that's the stage, and that's where we are so far.
I want to assess now the success of the stage. But let's start with a look at the kind of young people and how you are handling them. How would you look at the kind of people the youth in Uganda are, and how their kind of the kind of people they are relates with this initiative? Yes.
So how do we look at the young people and how do they relate?
Exactly.
So we are targeting all sorts of young people. The platform might be online, at thestageug.org, but we're also targeting young people down at the bottom of the pyramid who don't have access to an internet connection. And the stage is trying to ride on top of our successes so far with regards to the partners coming together, what they've been doing, how do we amplify that so that the young people can benefit. So you're a young person, you have an idea, how do you walk up to any of our partners in your local community and express interest in being part of the stage? Or you're a young person, you have a phone, how do you go online and actually see how to benefit? Either you profile your business and get access to mentors, or you submit an idea and then we follow up with you in terms of how to help you build it further, and things like that, right?
Okay.
But also the elders, our elders. We are trying to get our elders to be part of the stage, because
how do they come in?
So the elders are in positions of influence. Also, they influence policy, they influence systems, right? And we cannot talk about how young people have been affected by COVID, pre-COVID, before COVID, or after COVID, without having these discussions with elders. So we try to get them to listen through the convenings that we are going to undertake. And then from that listening, how do we have interventions that actually address our young people?
Do the young people get these services from you for free?
That's a good question. Yeah, so we're reducing the barriers to entry. The UN is supporting this, UNFPA is supporting this, so that we can convene these actors and offer this support to them for free. Because these are all barriers that our young people have been facing, right? I'm impacted, but I don't know where to go, right? So if you add more barriers in terms of how I'm accessing information, you're not making it any better in terms of supporting that young person out there.
Okay. What message would you have for the young people in this kind of situation, and how they can access the services as we wind up?
The message I have for young people, but also the community at large, I want to extend my message to the community. And we have to come to the realization that we will not solve our issues if we still keep our logos and work in silos. We have to come together. COVID-19 has showed us that, and we are still stubborn enough to not to see that we are failing to manage the situation because we are still working in silos, right? And so my appeal to young people is that we have to work together. My appeal to other people who are beyond that bracket is that we all have to come together and notice that these issues have to be addressed when we are apolitical, without putting into consideration logos or brands, because the issues are complex and beyond us. Okay. And the stage is one such platform, and I encourage the young people to access it by visiting it online on www.thestageug.org.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zulu Richard. Yes, there is an initiative to help the young people solve problems that have come up, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic escalating sexual reproductive health and all that kind of problems that come in that line. But they've come up with an initiative that can help all of us. Please don't hesitate to find it and be helped. My name is Michael Jordan Lukoma. That is all we had for you this afternoon. We thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.